when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change, because reality as you know it is nothing more but a direct reflection of your perceptions. Whatever it is that you believe to be true, that is what you will find evidence for. In cognitive psychology, this is known as the confirmation bias, and it holds a lot of people back from making progress in their lives because they get overly attached to the rigid thought patterns and belief structures that keep them stuck in the cycle of familiarity. And this is why I heed the wisdom from Socrates, who said that the only thing I know is that I don't know. Or Confucius, who said that true knowledge is to know the extent of one's ignorance. And I love this point of view because it sets the foundation for a lifetime of constant and never-ending improvement. Because the second that you think that you've made it or that you've learned everything that there is to learn, that is the second that you will start going backwards, because there's no such thing as being static in this universe. Everything is constantly changing. And to quote the words of Einstein, life is like riding a bicycle. The only way to keep balance is to keep moving forward. Now, my name is Mo Salim, and my mission is to elevate human consciousness. Consciousness is awareness, and in this video, I want to bring your awareness to some principles from the philosophy of reality transurfing that will show you how to bend reality using the power of your perception. Now, the first idea I want to talk about is that of the alternative space. Now, Einstein told us that space and time are not separate and that they actually come together to form a four-dimensional structure called space-time. In the philosophy of transurfing, this is known as the alternative space, and it is a template that represents the movement of all matter across space and time. You can think of it like an electromagnetic structure, information structure that contains the scripts and sceneries for everything that ever was, everything that is, and everything that can be. So the possibilities for the manifestation of reality are infinite, just like the points on a coordinate plane, coordinate graph, are infinite, right? And every single person is attuned to their own sector of the alternative space. And in this way, every single person is living within their own world of personal perceptions. So your personal perception forms your layer of reality, my personal perceptions forms my layer of reality, and every single person's personal perceptions form their individual layers of reality, which get stacked on top of each other and all together come to form the collective consciousness. Now, the reason I'm sharing this with you is because according to the philosophy of transurfing, reality is a mirror that reflects your relationship to the world. So in an actual mirror, you represent the physical object, which is the image, and the reflection is the metaphysical object that represents the reflection, all right? And according to transurfing, entire reality is like one gigantic dual mirror, which on one side is the image, which is your perception, your attitude about the world, their attitude about what's taking place, and the reflection is the world. So the problem is that a lot of us, when we're trying to make changes in our life, whether that is improve our health, improve our relationships, improve our financial situation, whatever it is, we go about it in a way where we are trying to change the reflection. We are trying to chase an illusion rather than changing the image that is being reflected. So this becomes a problem because we look in the mirror, which is the world as we know it, we reflect an attitude towards it, and then whatever that attitude is, and then we just keep on getting what we want because that is the signal that we're sending to the quantum field based on how we feel. All right, so like I'm saying, do not try to chase a reflection because that is an illusion. If you want true long-lasting change, then you have to really change the image that is being reflected, which represents your attitude about the world. All right, to quote the words of something you probably heard before, be the change you wish to see in the world. Right now, this quote is often misattributed to Mahatma Gandhi, who led the non-violent revolution and really drove the British invasion of India out from non-violence. That was total groundbreaking thing that has never taken place before. But what Gandhi actually said is that if we can change ourselves, we will notice that the tendencies of the world will change as well. As man changes his own nature, the attitude of the world changes towards him as well. I'm paraphrasing, but clearly Mahatma Gandhi is someone who understood the principle of reality being a mirror and changing the image rather than chasing the reflection, which is merely an illusion. Now, the image that is formed in the mirror or reflected in the mirror is created by your vibration, which is a combination of how you think and how you feel. Like I said, your thoughts send an electrical signal, and your feelings draw in a magnetic signal, which draws events back to you. And in the philosophy of transurfing, they say that the image is created in unity of the heart and the mind, right? Or how you think and how you feel. Now, the problem is that a lot of guys that I talk to who are trying to get into my program or anything that they need some help, they're trying to resolve some major issues in their life, they are very clear on their current situation, which they hate with strong emotions. So the result is that they're sending a very clear and coherent signal to the quantum field of what they think, which is their current situation, and how they feel, which is also about their current situation. And the reality doesn't care about the orientation of the relationship, it only cares about the content of the relationship. So because the signal is so clear and coherent about hating their current situation, which they're entirely clear on, they keep getting the same thing and they're stuck in that same cycle because their heart and mind or their thoughts and emotions are sending that clear signal to keep giving them what they want. Their image stays exactly the same, and as a result, the reflection that they get back also does not change. And the reason it becomes harder for us to align our minds with our hearts with what we do want is, first of all, so many times our minds have become conditioned to chase other people's goals, and the heart already knows that, so it doesn't align with other people's goals. And then secondly, the mind just might be completely closed off to what the heart is telling it to do. So people again are just lost, and they've lost the signal because they are conditioned to chase other people's goals, like I said. All right, so the solution to this is really, first of all, to get clear on what it is that you want. Paint a very clear picture in your head and begin to generate the emotions of that elevated state towards what it is that you want. All right, that is when you will begin vibrating at that frequency, and what you want will begin starting to drawn towards you. All right, so now you might be thinking that, yo, I'm very clear on my goal, I've been very clear on my goal, I've been running that picture in my head every single day, I've been generating those elevated emotions, but I don't see the change taking place. This is the moment where you will be tempted to go and try to change the reflection by using that inner force and willpower to go and try to change the reflection. But again, I will remind you that the reflection is a mere illusion. Okay, it is a reflection of how you feel and how you perceive the world. The only way you can change the reflection is by changing the image, which is by changing your perceptions. All right, so this is something that I'm dealing with as well. These are ideas that I'm still wrapping my head around, and obviously making these videos is helping me do that. But in Transurfing, what he recommends, Vadim Zeland, who is the channeler of this philosophy, he was a quantum physicist in Russia who ended up, writing books for a living now. But going back to the point of having the clear image, having those emotions, generating them every single day, but still not making progress, that is the point where you have to keep your eyes and ears open to anything positive and keep them closed to anything that is negative. Now, this might seem like, even to me right now, because I'm still using this technique, I have not made the progress to the extent that I want. Yes, I have made progress in the past, but at the end of the day, I still have to be running through this process, which is to pay attention to everything that is positive, because that is my attitude. If I can generate those emotions, I'll keep getting more of it, and just close off my senses to anything that is negative and shows a backwards motion towards it. Because if what you get in life is what you focus on, and if you can narrow your focus down to everything that is showing positive signs towards moving towards what you want, that is when you can actually further give more meaning to that stuff, because you give your attention to it. All right, so in summary, just understand that reality is like a mirror that reflects your relationship to the world, and the way to change the reflection is by changing the image, which is by changing your attitude about how you feel about things. All right, so I hope that this video has been valuable for you. Like I said, my name is Mo Salim, and my mission is to elevate human consciousness. And if you can just begin to focus more on the image and change your own tendencies, like Gandhi said, you will notice that the attitude of the world will change towards you as well. And really, it's been amazing. I'll make a video about some crazy stuff that's been going on in my life recently, about how, as I've become more kind to myself and more compassionate, I've been encountering people who express that same attitude towards me as well. All right, so if you like this video, click the like button. If you like seeing more videos of this sort, click the subscribe button, click the bell icon, so that you can get updated when I upload the next video. And if you want to dive deeper into this stuff and want my help in getting over any problems that you're facing in your life right now, I'll link out to a free case study video which goes over the 7 critical factors that I believe have been most effective in helping me make that personal transformation. With all that being said, I'll see you soon.